All right, everybody. Hello and good afternoon, and welcome to YouTube Live. Some of you that watch my YouTube videos know that occasionally, while these are recorded live, I record them for release and posting later. But this one is live, which means chat is open. I'm here interacting with everybody, able to have that conversation right now in the moment. And today, what I want to talk about is home haircutting tips. We are in the throes of the earliest really stages of lock-in and lockdown. The state of Illinois, where I live, locks down, I think, at 5 p.m. tonight. It's getting real for a lot of people in a lot of ways. And I've always been engaging and communicating with people, and I want to continue to do that to try to be helpful. And, you know, people are starting to raise the questions of, well, what about getting a haircut? And I don't think it's mom worried about little Billy needing a haircut. I think it's mom worried about her own hair, or dad and guys worried about, hey, tightening up my fade. Even if we're not going out, how we look impacts how we feel and our entire outlook on life and the world. So no question, I am insanely sympathetic to people's concerns when it comes to, I got to get my haircut. You should not be going to a hair salon right now. You should not be going to the home of a hair cutter right now. And you should not be inviting a hair cutter into your home. It's just not okay. But you want to get your hair cut, you're going to have to take matters into your own hands, knowing that that's the case. I don't think it's if people are going to cut their own hair. I think it's when people are going to cut their own hair. And even people who under normal circumstances can be cool and can be rational and can be logical about, nah, I shouldn't do this. Locked in, locked out, locked up, bored, frustrated. The urge is there. I can feel it. I understand. Guys, I cut my hair yesterday. I get it. I totally get it. So it's not okay for me to be cutting my own hair and telling you it's not okay for you to be cutting your own hair. And it's not okay for me as a professional not to be here to coach you. So I've got a little list. I got some bullet points. I got some things with me here on the counter. Let's have that conversation. Number one on the list. You got a friend in the house? Is there somebody in the house who can help you with this? We as professionals cut hair standing 2 feet away from the head that we're working on. That's why this whole social distancing thing makes hair salons not okay. Because even though we as professionals have always been super good about cleaning surfaces and cleaning tools, you know what? We can't control that respiration, that moisture droplets in our breathing. Mike Samuel, we're not hurting barbers here. We're helping people out. This is going to be a while here. And you know what? Most barbers started out as home hair cutters. Most cosmetologists started out as home hair cutters. Most people who do this professionally have dabbled in it as an amateur. I don't think this hurts our industry at all. I think this is our industry being helpful to people along the way. So we're going to give you a couple of tips and tricks and things. Number one, find a friend, somebody in the house, somebody you are locked in with, someone you are sequestered with who can help you. If you're just looking for a little bang trim, it's so much easier for somebody to do that for you. And I'm going to offer some tips for that. If you're looking to clean up your neckline on a guy haircut, it's so much easier for somebody who can stand behind you to do that. So if you're locked up in the house with somebody, that'll work. And you know, if you have things like a home electric shaver that's got the little pop-up beard trimmer on it, I don't have mine with me down here to show you, but yeah. Here, Mike Hopper asks, how long do you think shops will need and have to be closed? Mike, I'm not an expert or a professional in this area. I can only share what I hear, which is what other people hear as well. I think at the outset, we're looking absolutely through the end of April. I think a lot of places have shut down temporarily till April 1, or they've shut down till April 8th. I've seen that date out there. I've seen people say mid-April. I think we're going to be looking at least 4 weeks, which, I mean, here we are, we're the 20th of March. We're looking near the end of April. I think we're looking at least 4 weeks lockdown, lockout that it's not going to be safe for people to be in salons. From what I'm understanding is, as the weather warms, the virus may die off a little bit, but we can't count on that happening. We just don't know. If you look at what's happened with the trajectory in China, they're just now getting to the point where there are, I think it's 2 days in a row with no new cases. And if you look at what's happening in Italy, Italy is several weeks behind us, and Italy is still white hot with this. So I don't think anybody that thinks we're going back April 1 or April 8th, I don't think those numbers and timeframes are realistic. That's just as I see it right now. So number 1 on the list was find a friend if you're going to attempt some home hair cutting. Number 2 on the list is cover up. Whether it's with a large towel serving as a cape, you know, every time we cut your hair, we cover you up a bit just to keep you clean, just to keep you itch free. Another good option, if not a towel, is a garbage bag. Now, I'm not telling you to put a garbage bag over your head. What I will tell you is if you take a scissors and you slice out the seam along the side of a garbage bag, that can drape. And I'm going to try to do this real quick while I got you here. If I cut through this, and it should be easy to cut a garbage bag with a kitchen scissors, and this one I might even be able to just simply tear, but if I tear it out along the seam as I've done, and that'll get me to about there, and I tear it a little more, I now have a pretty good, suitable under the circumstances, keep the hair off of you, keep you clean kind of thing. And don't worry too much about getting the house too messy because, hey, you got nothing to do. You'll clean the house. It's okay. But get a friend was number 1. Number 2 is cover up. Number 3 is a little bit of moisture. Dampen the hair slightly. When we cut your hair, we typically cut your hair after we have shampooed it, or we cut your hair after we've dampened it a little bit with a water bottle. This is for control. And tip number 4, which is sectioning. Please understand, when we cut hair as professionals, we don't cut all your hair at once. We cut small amounts of your hair. We call it sectioning, reducing the amount we're trying to hold for control. It also has to do with how hair moves across your head from side to side and front to back and up and down. We call that over direction. I don't want to get too complicated here, but for things like cutting bangs, don't try to cut all of it. For things like trimming length, don't try to trim all of it. And don't get it real wet. And the reason for this is, please understand, and I will tell you my own story. I learned the hard way. Damp hair stretches more than dry hair. Damp hair can stretch a lot. Thinner and finer hair when damp stretches even more. So if you wet your bangs, comb them down, hold them tight, and cut them off, they're going to shrink up like crazy, and you don't want to do that. You want to cut with what we call low tension. If you're picking out combs to use to cut, use the wide side of your comb. Don't use the narrow side of your comb. The wider teeth on the wide side of your comb put less pull, what we call tension, on the hair. Or a wide tooth comb is a great choice to comb the hair down, to really let it fall naturally. For things like front fringes, try to avoid holding the hair and pulling it super tight. Try to just cut it as it naturally lays. And one of the big tips here is start small. If you think you want your bangs at your eyebrows, cut them a little long of your eyebrows, let them dry, and look at them. You're locked in. You're not going anywhere. You've got all the time in the world to play with this, to go back and cut it a little bit shorter. You don't have to get it right the first time as a amateur who's given this a shot. So damp, not wet, low tension, don't pull, and work in sections. Don't try to cut everything all at once. Tied into that small section comment, I put on my notes, start small. Do not take yourself from long hair to a pixie the first time you do a haircut. We didn't do that as professionals in school. We started with sections, wefts, portions of haircuts, little pieces. You can do that same thing. If you think you want to clean up your layering, clean up just a little bit of the layering at the very top of the head before you get a little more ambitious. You may find you're doing okay. You can bite off or chew a little bit more. Lastly, I want to talk about the short, tight folks and the clipper cut guys, and the guys that have a home clipper. This is not a home clipper. This is a pro clipper, but all these clippers come with guards. one thing I want to make real clear for everybody is if you're going to cut your hair with guards, you don't pick up a very small guard and cut the bottom first. You work down from above. You put the bigger, longer guard on first and work up a little higher, and then work into it from lower down with the smaller guards. Cut from big guards to little guards, not little guards to big guards, stair-stepping your way up. That'll save you a lot of challenges and a lot of blending. Here's an easy tip for cutting your own hair. Number one tip, don't. JJ, I totally agree. Under normal circumstances, don't. That's a great tip. You are absolutely right. I got to tell you, these are not normal circumstances. That tip, which is always a great tip, is not going to be a reality for some folks. And the other thing I want to share is there are some specialized tools out there. Simple things and more complicated things. When we talked about sectioning, we don't cut everything at once. Hair cutters use these little clips like this. You can do the same thing with a clip like you use for a bag of potato chips, just to section off some hair so you're not working with everything all at once. Another thing I want to share is get you one of these. Whether you're cutting your own hair or you've got a housemate who's locked up with you cutting your hair, this is called a big red blending comb. And the idea with this is when you slide this into your hair to do blending and hair extends out past it to get cut, it's a huge piece of safety and protection. We use these professionally as a professional cutting tool all the time. Of course, I have them online on my website. It's clipperguy.com or ivanzoot.com. You're certainly invited to go there and check it out. And I've got a whole ton of videos on my YouTube channel. Please know my YouTube channel videos are more targeted to beauty and barber professionals. So there's going to be some language on there. There's some terminology. There may be some technical things that are specifically not aimed at consumers. But please know, and those of you that are listening that are my friends in the beauty and barber industry, I know this is a frightening time. I know this is a challenging time. I know this is a really weird time for all of us. And please know, we want to do everything we can to help clients, to provide some support and coaching. But you know what? If we're not on here having this conversation as professionals to people at home to provide that coaching, don't think that people aren't going on the web, on YouTube, looking for this help in the first place. They absolutely are, and they're absolutely going to. So the better we can be proactive. This is what I say about people that are still cutting hair in shops. Illinois is shut down. I know Connecticut is shut down. Wisconsin is shut down. Minnesota is shut down. Colorado is shut down. California, portions, not all the state, are shut down. And there are still some people out there defying these orders and cutting hair. And I want to remind you, clients are watching. People are watching. Consumers are watching. I actually prefer clients cut their hair at home. It increases my value. Hey, JJ, take the LOL off the end of that. I agree with you 100%. Anytime, let's take it out of hair cutting just to put it in a context we can all understand and appreciate. You watch a NASCAR race on television, and there's some guy that's, a couple of Coors Lights into a NASCAR race going, hey, I could do that. You can't. You watch the U.S. Open tennis championship on television, and you watch world-class professionals playing tennis, and you're sitting there with a glass of Chardonnay going, I could do that. No, you can't do that. Really, you can't. I'm not kidding you. And so I think you're absolutely right. When people try this, and that's why my suggestion is don't get overly ambitious. I think if I've currently got 7 people watching. If that's 7 licensed beauty and barber professionals, if each one of those people has 10 years experience on average, and I have 32 years experience cutting hair, that means the people that are participating and watching this YouTube video as it is live right now combined have over 100 years of hair cutting experience. That's not to be taken lightly. I'm not foolish enough to believe that an individual watching this video is going to put me out of a job. They're not putting JJ or Mike, the other people that have commented here. You guys aren't going to lose jobs over this. You may actually build business over this, because by being out there, by being connected, by being helpful, by being a source of support and positivity, hey, we're going to all get through this together. I'm Ivan Zoot. Comment here if I can help you. DM me if I can be valuable to you. As beauty and barber professionals, I want to invite you. I've got Haircutter Success Camp happening every single day on my blog at ivanzoot.com. This is an opportunity to be connected, engaged, involved, and challenged every single day in the world of haircutting. Everyone is invited to participate in Haircutter Success Camp. And as always, I've always been here. I'm always going to be here to help people in the business. Go online. You got time to read. Pick up a Clipper Guy book and let me help you build and grow your business. Consumers out there, people locked in and locked up, let me help you. Go back to the beginning of the video if you're just tuning in. I think we shared some good tips for home haircutters for people to have a level of confidence and a level of success. And let's help people feel good about themselves during this tough time. We'll see y'all soon. Hey, the Unibarber. Dang, I'm late. That's okay. You can go back and watch it on rewind, everybody. We will get through this. Rebecca Harris, my friend, you're absolutely right. Everybody have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.